What's going on, guys? Ray here again with the Club Global, teaching men around the world to be men of the world. And today we're talking about packing. We're talking about buying a house. I've been quiet here for a few weeks in the clubhouse, and the deal is I'm moving. We are relocating and setting up shop in a new space out of state of where I live. I want to take this video as a little update in between my break here of making videos, and also to kind of give you guys a little info on something that I feel like people of our generation are very stuck on and confused on. Allow me to explain. So, buying a house. For many millennials, that is considered the pinnacle of adulting. Right? Our parents have taught us that buying a house is a thing you do when you were growing up. Our parents all own houses. That's just what we do. That's our example of adult shit. Is you have a house, you pay your mortgage, you got property taxes, blah, blah, blah. I have a couple things to say about that. First and foremost, I want to give you my opinion and perspective on home ownership and how important it is or is not. I'm going to tell you something that's going to take a big weight off a lot of your shoulders. Buying a house is not a requirement of being a functioning adult in this world. Whew. You don't need to buy a house, all right? Owning real estate is a individual decision based on your personal lifestyle and financial goals. Furthermore, many 20-somethings, 30-somethings, and even early 40-somethings have this idea that renting is just pissing money away. You're just paying somebody else's mortgage. You're just giving money to a landlord, and it's a waste. That's not true. You're always going to have living costs, all right? Always going to have living costs. Renting is a living cost. Let's deep dive a little further into that. There is a cost to renting. There's also a cost to owning, all right? If you are borrowing money to buy a house, you're paying interest on that money that you borrowed. So you are giving money to somebody. You're giving money to a bank, all right? You're also paying property taxes. If you didn't put down 20% on your mortgage, so you're paying, PMI on your loan, you're also paying a PMI fee, which is just giving money to somebody else, all right? You got to pay your insurance, your homeowner's insurance, all right? There's going to be maintenance on the home. That's a hidden cost that any homeowner will tell you they maybe didn't think about ahead of time. And you find out when you get into a place, oh shit, a couple of years down the road, I had to replace my water heater. There's a few $1,000s I had to spend that if I was renting, a landlord would have just done, and it'd be no money out of my pocket. All right, there's a lot of hidden costs to owning a home. And this is not to discourage you from owning a home. I'm just telling you that the idea that owning a home is somehow cheaper or it's a much freer ride, it's not true. Also, the idea that a home is an asset, this is true, right? You are buying something that can and typically does appreciate over time, all right? Hopefully, if you're buying a house with the intent on selling it later to make a profit, hopefully you are in a real estate market where when you decide to sell, your home has appreciated enough to make enough money to keep up with inflation at least, all right? A stagnant market like whatever down in the deep south where property isn't skyrocketing, above the rate of inflation, maybe you're not going to make a lot of money selling that thing a few years down the road. But if you live in a hot market like whatever, you live in Los Angeles, or you live currently right now Nashville, or places in Texas are really blowing up, all right? Those are good places to invest in. I'm not going to get in the weeds on that kind of stuff. I'm just trying to tell you guys that the idea that renting is a waste of money is not true. This brings me into my next bit about this. It depends on your personal financial goals, all right? Let's say, for the sake of argument, everybody watching this video wants to invest money in something, and you want your money to work for you. You want your money to grow, okay? Real estate investment is a vehicle for investment. You can put X amount of dollars into a real estate investment, and that X amount of dollars may gain interest over time. As the market gets better, your home appreciates in value. You could liquidate your home later on down the line, and you will see a gain in your initial investment. You can also invest that money into the stock market. You can buy stocks, options, all right? You can put your money in bonds. You can, index funds. There are investment vehicles in the market you can put money in. You can put your money into cryptocurrency, all right? That's a way to appreciate interest on your money. These are all ways you can take X amount of dollars, buy something with it, and in some amount of time, that money you initially put in will be worth more money. It grows in value, you gain value. How you invest your money is a personal decision based on your lifestyle and your financial goals. So let's say, for example, you want to invest your money in the stock market. And that's your main source of wanting to gain interest on your money. It may behoove you to rent instead of own. Let me run you through a quick, dirty example. Let's say you want to buy a house, all right? Whatever, costs a few $100,000. You're going to put down a 20% down payment, all right? You're talking, whatever, 50 grand for a down payment on a house. That's $50,000 in equity you have tied up in this house. Now let's say you owe whatever, 2.5%, 3% interest on this home. So now extrapolate that out over the course of time. Your home gains X amount of value over time. You could sell your home for a profit later. If you want to invest, average stock market gain annually over the course of, if you look at the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years, you're talking 6, 7%, something like that. You may stand to gain more money investing your money in a conservative sense in the stock market, all right? If you put your money in index funds, given an X amount of time, all right, given whatever, 10, 20, 30 years, you may see better gains in the stock market with your initial investment than you would in a house, okay? So in that scenario, it would behoove you to rent instead, because instead of putting down 50 grand and then paying whatever, $1,200 a month, maybe rent a place for $1,200 a month or $1,400 a month or whatever, and that 50 grand you aren't tying up into a house, you can put in the stock market, and that 50 grand will start working for you quicker and making more interest quicker. See, so these are things to think about. You can invest in real estate in a way that does make you money. Say you want to have investment properties where you rent them out to tenants, all right, and you're making revenue based on the rent you're charging your tenants, and they're paying you more than your mortgage and your interest and your insurance and all that stuff is costing you. So you're making money there. You could also, you can flip houses, you can invest in REITs, you can buy in markets that are really hot so you can sell them a few years later and they're worth a lot more money by doing pretty much nothing to them. These are ways to invest and make quick gains. I wouldn't say quick gains, but make appreciable gains on real estate. At the end of the day though, most millennials, right, we're talking folks in their mid-late 20s up to their 40s, their idea of home ownership is the adult version of buying a house to live in. That is a purely 100% lifestyle decision. All right, do you want to build a lifestyle where having a house that you own and live in is advantageous to you? All right, think about these things. All right, this will bring me to my next point. So now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of this video. Buying real estate as a lifestyle decision. All right, do you live a type of lifestyle where buying real estate would be very valuable to you? All right, do you want land? Do you want a space where you can do stuff to it, all right? Where you have workspaces, say you want to build like a garage or a workshop, all right? You want to customize your own living space in a way that renting a property would not allow you to do. These are things to consider, all right? Land is a big thing, unless you can rent a house that's got land. Like I said, it all depends. The big thing about owning a home is part of it's psychological. It's the fact that you own something. This is my space, all right? This is mine, it's my private property. I can do whatever I want to it, yada, yada, yada. You can do stuff to it without having to ask a landlord. There's also that security of it where it's like, hey, you know, there's no worry that at the end of my lease or whatever, my landlord's gonna kick me out. You know, and say, hey, you know, I'm gonna renovate the house, gotta kick you out. Or hey, I just sold this to a new landlord. He wants to gut the place and redo it and get new tenants. You don't gotta worry about that. These are things to consider. Now, the next part of it is, how do you afford a house? All right, this is probably the biggest question a lot of millennials got. And there is no satisfying and easy way to explain this to you. The way I save for real estate is you just live below your means and you put away money. Okay, there are two parts to buying a home with borrowed money, which is how the vast majority of folks buy a home, is you get a mortgage, right? You get a loan for your house. You're going to need to have money saved up to put down for a down payment and for closing costs. And you're going to need to have decent credit to be approved for the loan. All right, those are the two big parts of it. And they seem big and scary and super adult, but I'm telling you they're not. They're easy as hell. Saving money is easy as hell. Building credit is easy as hell. They just require the smallest modicum of discipline and self-control. All right, living below your means is probably the hardest part of it. All right, most people in their 20s and 30s, all right, we suck ass with money. All right, I have 2 videos about it, and I got a video about credit cards. All right, there's this huge gap of financial intelligence in our generation that, you know, a lot of millennials are just lacking on, is understanding money, how to save it, how to make it work for you, how to build credit, all these things. But staying on track here with talking about how to get a mortgage. It's easy, man. Just don't spend so much of your damn money. Live below your means. Plan ahead of time if you think home ownership is something that you definitely want in your life. If you want to buy a house, that's something you get a plan for, all right? It'll take you some time to build up your financial situation so that you are in a, you know, a good status to apply for a mortgage and get what you want. So let's say you say, okay, a couple years down the road, I want to buy a house, all right? Start thinking about your budget early, all right? Start planning, you know, your monthly expenses and how much you want to save each month to put into a savings account for your down payment, all right? There are FHA loans, and there's conventional loans, there's VA loans.
Pineapple shrimp, lemon shrimp, coconut shrimp, pepper shrimp.
Whole mess of different kinds of loans. And different states have different programs too at the state level, like grants and different kinds of loans for first-time home buyers for whatever state you live in. There's all kinds. The easiest, most normal way to do it is just get a conventional loan, which preferably you have enough money to put 20% down on your home, and you know, you have a credit score of like at least in like the high 600s. Okay, would be like the baseline, depending on the bank you're going through. Saving up the money, that's the big part that a lot of millennials can't get over. That's the hurdle, saving up 20%. Okay, if you want to buy a house that costs $200,000, all right, you're looking at 40 grand. That sounds like a lot, but I will tell you what, over the course of a couple of years, all right, putting away a little bit of money here and there, it's not that bad. Okay, it's not that bad. It really depends on, like I said, building your budget properly, all right? Understanding your wants and needs for the kind of house you want. Don't buy too much house, all right? Be conservative with your budget and your money, all right? Save to spend way more than you're going to, and spend way less than you saved for. These are easy, all right? That way, when you do get this house and you have the loan, you have a lot of wiggle room. You have a buffer space. Say something crazy happens and you lose your job, you got money saved up, you can pay your mortgage and everything for several months before things get bad. So the financial saving thing is a big part of it. Just live below your means, right? Put money away each month. Set up an automatic withdrawal, all right? Like I said earlier, I got 2 videos about money, how to manage money, how to save. Watch those videos, and that will help you put away money, okay? So saving up for the house, not that scary. It just takes time, all right? Be future minded, prepare, all right? You're not buying a house tomorrow. This is, there's a whole bunch of layers to this. Many people in their 20s and 30s and even their 40s, they've rented their whole lives. Even though they want to get a house, it's easy to rent, okay? You can find a place, apply for the lease, all right, and you're just gonna have whatever $2-3 grand to pay your first, last, and security, and you're in there. Super easy. The process for getting a house is longer and more complex, and you're gonna have more money to put down up front. So it can be intimidating, and it's way different than just applying for a lease for an apartment. I get that, but the point of this video is to dissuade you from thinking that you have to buy real estate. It is not the end-all be-all of adulting, okay? And also understand that if you do want to buy real estate, if that's something you are sure that you want to get into based on your lifestyle and your personal financial goals, know what goes into it and that it's not that big and scary and complicated, okay? Saving up money, having good credit. As long as you have those 2 things down, you'll be fine. You can get a mortgage at any friggin' bank that you choose to, and you will get favorable interest rates, and it won't be a big deal. I will make more videos talking more about this because I know the whole home buying thing and home ownership thing is a very big topic for people around my age, okay? So I will make more content about this. I just wanted to make this prepper video to kind of, talk about updates going on with me, relocating. I'll have a new office and everything, a new space to be filming videos, and just to kind of talk to you guys about buying a house. Because it's something I'm going through, and I want to, share my at-the-moment experiences with you guys, okay? Maybe I'll make a video about packing and moving, okay? That might be beneficial too. So anyway, with that, this is Ray signing out.